Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, which means you're stuck with me for an hour. Just wait a couple minutes here. See who wants to join in today. I know Brendan. There's a high probability Brendan's not going to make it today. So he's playing with Classic Albums Live again. I think they're doing Queen tonight. I did mean to watch that. I got stuck mixing, like, the whole time this evening, and then I took a break for dinner. And then I don't want to say I got trapped in the kitchen, because that's probably not going to go over well later. But didn't get a chance to see the Classic Album stream, but I'm sure it's awesome. Hey Kelly. Hey Beth. Beth says her daughter Abby says hello as well. Hello Abby. Melody is here. How's it going, Melody? I think I hear a knock at the door. They can let themselves in as soon as they're ready. Kitty, how's it going? I think we got matching sweatshirts today. Austin Tyler Williams, how's it going? Again, the Wednesday is just a hang. Just a hang for everybody. We have weekly tense machine meetings, and we're chatting this week about stuff, and it's like Dane has the talent and gifted ability. Whoa! He just let himself in, Kramer Styles.
I had to pop through that door really quickly.
It did. Smashed. Are we wearing matching hoodies today?
I think we are wearing matching hoodies.
We're dead set gang
but
today?
I'm rocking full dead set. But also I'm rocking Halifax's 105.
Live 105. You are.
Yeah.
Someone is paying you the big bucks.
Well, you know, when
branding. You talked about this. We just got to find some sponsors and stuff. And
well, honestly, it was for me. I was cleaning out a bunch of stuff today, and I didn't realize that I had one of these Dead Set shirts still that actually fit me. Because every time one of my family members is like, "Oh, I don't have that Dead Set shirt," I end up just giving them mine. So I got really lucky, and and it was clean.
If I had have known, because I have one hanging in the other room that's got a marker on it, so we couldn't sell that one. And
oh, really?
So it's just hanging up in the other room, and it's like, had I have known, it would have been really awkward. Been like, oh man, like it'd be like Halloween if two people show up with the same costume on.
I also got really lucky in the fact that I had a large Dead Set hoodie that I have to be honest, I've worn the SH to the something out of. Like I've worn it a lot. It's a mileage. But it was a large. This one's a medium. And my mom was like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I had the large and you had the medium. So maybe we could switch." And I was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea. Take this disheveled one that and I think I handed it maybe like this. I had the pinky up.
It was fancy.
And I
It
just
was a fancy transfer.
I dropped it like that. And then I took this like nice new one. Look how white I don't even want to put it against my teeth because I feel like I haven't done enough whitening treatments.
I have 2 Dead Set hoodie stories.
You have 2 of them?
I have a medium. And my lovely wife has a small. But I will say that both of them are basically mediums now because I never look to check when I go to put it on. And I'm just like, oh, I've gained a little weight. So now like one is like stretched out.
So you've given a bit of a stretch treatment.
They're both, yeah, so like they're both kind of medium now. It kind of is what it is. And then you talk about the strings today.
Mm-hmm.
So today, I was having some boneless wings today. And I had a little bowl of Frank's hot sauce to.
I miss your boneless wings.
To dip my boneless wings in.
Yeah.
And I sat down outside and I put my plate down. I had a salad too. It was nice. It was a complete meal for lunch. And I sat down. I put the plate down, and then I sat down. the string like flew up in the air. I didn't realize I had that much momentum when I was going to sit down, but enough that it was defying gravity for a second, and my string came down and it went right into the little bowl of Frank's Red Hot sauce. And I looked at it, and then what's the first thing you do if that happens?
Happy accident. You
put it in your mouth, because you're just like, that's gonna fix it, and then you look at it like, that's not fixing it. So I had to go back in.
Did you just nip it off?
No, I went into the kitchen. And I washed that, just the little end there, because I was thinking, I was like, oh, come on, like everything was going great today.
I was gonna ask if you Tide sticked it.
No, I didn't get there. We do have like this magic bar of soap though that seems to take a lot of the stains and stuff out. If you like Frank's Red Hot as much as some people in this household do, you need to know how that stuff works. Because shirts like you're wearing right now, magnet.
Oh, of course.
For it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know how this one actually lasted. Because I've had 3 or 4, and they last like 2 dinners.
But you're gonna get stuff on it. That's the issue.
That's what I'm saying. Like I need a bib.
I like when people at merch are like, "Do you only have black shirts?" You're like, "Yeah." And you're like, "Can you get like another color, like white?" And like it's one of those things where you just start having these flashbacks to like what can happen to merch on the road, and carrying white merch is like it's I want to say it's worse than carrying vinyl, because vinyl is a pain in the butt. Because it wants to melt, it wants to break. There's lots of issues trying to carry. But those white shirts, it's like you have to protect them at all costs.
Yeah, I feel like white shirts are harder to carry around than vinyl. Because vinyl, as long as you keep it out of the sun, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah, white shirts, it's like they just want to find problems.
Yeah.
And I'm not pointing any pictures or any fingers at all. Sorry, I got distracted by not pointing any fingers at all. But it's like, there's a lot of times when you're on tour and like end of night, we just throw stuff into the merch bins.
Okay, no, I was pointing at me because I thought that was going to be
No. But it's just like, it happens. It's just the end of the night. Oh, here's like a bunch of Sharpies that don't have lids on. Just throw them into the bin. Here's some boots. Let's throw them into the bin.
Okay, I've done that. I've definitely done that.
And it's not good. It's difficult to maintain that stuff.
Speaking of boots, as I was going through some stuff, I actually, hey, Tense Machine.
I think
that was me.
That's you.
No, that was me.
Okay, I was thinking. I was like, is that?
I was trying to respond because Darren,
I was wondering if it was Brendan.
Darren was saying hey, Kelly was saying hey, Austin was saying hey, Elizabeth was saying hey, Mike was saying hey.
Making a lot of hay going on over there.
Nicole was saying hey, but yeah. So I wanted to hey, but I found a pair of boots. Do you remember? I can't remember where we were, but it was like we were treading through mud to load our gear, and we had to actually lift the amp cabs. This was Dead Set days. We had to actually
mud.
We had to actually lift the amp cabs because we didn't want the wheels and stuff getting all. Do you remember this one?
Was it parking lot mud or was it like festival grounds mud?
No. It was parking lot mud, but it was the fact that like where the loadout was, I can remember it like it was yesterday because I remember putting these other boots on, and it was like, okay, like this is the time I need the other boots, and I found the other boots today, and they're like caked in mud still. They're really nice boots, but I just gave up on them. And today I kind of looked at them and I was like, do I try and like take a power washer and revive these boots for the day that maybe we need to dig the Expantha out of the mud? But no, I haven't made the decision yet.
I'm trying to think, because like that sounds like a notable load-in or load-out.
It definitely wasn't a festival. I think it was Indiana. Honestly, I think it was Indiana, and I think it was Saliva, or
We played with Saliva. It was a festival show.
That was the one where they gave us that really nice green room because they had their tour bus and stuff. No, that's not the one I'm talking about.
No, but I do. No,
but that was awesome. Maybe it wasn't Saliva. Either way, it was. I'm almost positive it was Indiana, and there was it was a nasty little spot in front of the loadout where it was just like. And I remember looking at you going, man, like there's gotta be something we can do. And you looked at me and said like our quote dead set line, which was, man, this is just what today is.
That's what today is.
and I retired those boots. I made them old boot goofing.
No, I'm trying to think because like there's definitely been some bad load-ins, like just in general. But the thing that like I'm thinking about like the bad load-ins that I've had to deal with, where it's really far, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like I remember with Age of Days Atlantic City, and I think we talked about it before, but just like the load-in was like crazy long, to the point where they were explaining where it was, and they know about halfway through you've lost what they were talking about.
It's like Spinal Tap.
And then they're just like, we're gonna send some hands down anyways, so just like wait here.
Just stay.
And then it's like, it's laughably far, how far you have to go. And especially like how we usually travel and tour, where like we have like 90 items to take instead of just like 4 big cases. It's like everything is just, you just have to carry everything.
I definitely remember that on one gig. It was one gig we were on with Fozzy.
End of the Fozzy tour in Calgary.
And it was that like long, no, it wasn't in Canada because I remember Muttley was there. So it had to have been in the States.
And wasn't with Fozzy then, unless it was when we were coming home.
It was definitely with Fozzy. It might have even been in Illinois when we were on one of those random.
We played in Joliet, the Forge with Fozzy. That's the first time you played with them.
But that's not a crazy load in.
No, it's no.
This one was that one where it was like it was a giant ramp.
Giant ramp.
It was a really long like concrete ramp.
Because we weren't in the States with Fozzy, except for Joliet. The Ford.
Are you sure that's the only Fozzy?
Really? I am 99% sure, because that was because I remember that day because we like waited around, trying to see if they would come back in and hang out.
It could have been a Hollywood Undead.
And then we had to finally leave, and then they came in and hung out because that's what people do.
It could have been a Hollywood Undead show, but. The reason I thought it was a Fozzy one is because I could almost positively remember walking down that thing and Chris was walking up and us both joking about the fact that it was a ridiculously long walk up. But that also might have been Muttley because we like to joke about the things that we think are ridiculous. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably wrong.
I remember the beginning of the Fozzy tour when we were playing in Ottawa, and it was a skating rink, and then a giant set of stairs, and then like the stage was crazy, like not big enough for the back line for everything for the tour package. So it was like outside was not safe, the load-in was not safe, and then the stage was not safe. So like everything was not safe. You're kind of wondering, like, you can't control the weather. You can apologize for the load-in. But the technical specs for the stage and stuff, that there was no apology for that because everybody knew. Well, someone lied on the resume somewhere.
That was a tour where there was a few like there was some crazy ones. Was it Regina that we were in where the guy like absconded onto Fozzy's tour bus? I think it was Regina.
Yeah, I think so.
And it was that was a crazy one because my memories of that were chasing the guy with Sam, Fozzy's front of house. Me and Sam like chasing this guy while Sam's on the phone with the police. We're like just following him. And then we corner him at this giant fence, and the guy, it's like a scene from Men in Black. and he blinks his eyes this way and then climbs up the fence and just like jumps over the fence, falls all the way down. And Sam and I are kind of looking at each other like, I guess maybe he's kind of stuck, because there was a fence about the same size but with barbed wire on the other side. So he didn't really have anywhere to go. That was
I remember fast forwarding that, like later on he managed to get to his vehicle and then he hit
ran over someone.
Hit one of the security guards with it, and we're just like, what is going on here? Like this is all bonkers and crazy right now. So.
Yeah. That was definitely a nuts one.
So I want to read this. Back to the hoodie thing. Because I was eating Chinese food last week wearing a gray hoodie, and the sweet and sour sauce splashed all over it. Made it look like I violently killed someone right before I left for my haunt job. Rather than trying to clean it off, I just wore my bloodied up hoodie under my costume, added to the scare factor of the costume. Again, sauces. What are you going to do? Sometimes you get sauce on
embrace
your shirt. That's what it is. I like
At
this
the end
one.
of the day, I wonder if you could kind of suck the sauce from Mankato.
It's just gonna make it work. Yeah, Devin was saying whatever Mankato. What is it called? Is it look? No, it's not Lookout Lounge.
No,
it's like What's Up
room or the What's Up. The What's Up, yeah.
What's Up Lounge, or like up there, What's Happening Lounge.
Awesome place to play, amazing staff, but that load in.
The thing is, I don't mind that load in because you can. I just want to make sure because you can see it. And because we don't have a lot of stuff, and it's close to a lot of hotels.
Okay, but you weren't
the one
that
there's pizza place down the street.
You were not the one that could lift the guitar boat.
Nope.
Because there were spots where like you couldn't have two people on that thing, and man, I remember us pulling into that. Like the first time was one thing. But I remember every time after that, I wouldn't know where we were playing, and I feel like
until
maybe strategically you guys were not saying it, and then we'd show up and I'd see the building and I'd have this like heart sinking feeling of like, oh no, is this the place? Well, I love the place because again, like the staff is awesome. The sound I found was really cool there.
Yeah, we had fun
because it's like a shot back. It's great for rock.
For anyone in Toronto, it's like Sneaky D's. But
yeah,
the load in
actually,
is like
but the load in is worse. Not at all.
Actually, no. The Sneaky D's is like, to me, it's a worse load in because it is upstairs and you've got to get through the restaurant for opening, and then there's the crap load in because you got to park on the street somewhere and then.
Okay. Yes.
Drag your gear.
I'll give you the fact that the street parking makes it worse.
When we get back on tour, I may actually make up a load in like scorecard.
Okay,
and
but if I'm being serious though, like our load in now versus what we had to load in with Dead Set,
that's our load in.
It would be machine. Like I could put all of my stuff on my like a backpack.
Well, we went from two 412 cabs
Mankato.
with heads down to you got a 112 combo or 212 combo, 112 combo.
It was the guitar boat and B's cabinet rack.
Right.
That was a tough thing because we had to go over the railings. I remember watching, I can't remember what band we were with, but I remember one band that we were with had like a really giant like rack unit. And they had, and I remember watching them go up the stairs being like, I'm just going to sit here and see if I can get a cool YouTube video of, them making this and like the championship of them getting up there.
And 810 bass cabs, that too, like watching that go up the stairs.
God.
Because also like the room's not big enough to really need something like that. And I get people are like, oh, it's part of my tone, like I need it for my sound. It's like, yeah, but like
you could have a 115 little
it's like look at the venue and judge accordingly with it. That's one of my pet peeves.
That's a Dear Bands thing.
That's one of my that's a video. Like, don't worry, I got some scripts started for everybody. Nobody's safe. But drummers, same thing. It's like some of the drum kits and you look at the room and you're like, oh, I'm not being the nicest right now, but it's like, okay, I get it. You play live like once every 4 or 6 months. So you want to bring it all. Like, you want to bring your A game, but it's like, I do have a lot of respect for drummers that I know have big drum kits, but they can gauge the show and go, you know what? This is all I need to do this show. And then better yet, when they know they're sharing a kit, it's like, bring a 4 or 5 piece kit and you're fine. Everyone can play it. And, you know, I don't want to say if you can't play your songs on that, then there's something wrong, but it's like, you know, I've seen enough butthurt drummers about like needing to play their drums. And I'm just like, honestly, I don't like, that's one of the things too with rehearsal spaces. Like, I don't mind going there because I'm so used to my kit that when I go play in a rehearsal space kit, I'm like, no, I need to just figure out how to feel comfortable on this right now, because that can happen sometimes, you know?
Well, and I agree. Like, I think that...
Play same with guitars too.
Well, yeah, like I think that I make the mistake sometimes of laughing at dudes that'll say, you know, like, I need this amp, like I need this head, I need... And they'll bring in like a Fender DeVille 112 or something like that, and they're like, this is my sound. And I get that, like I do. I don't want to take it away from them, because I've heard guys that will plug their guitar in with no pedals and they've got that little Fender DeVille and they make it sound like a golden tone. But I will say those are few and far between. The coolest thing that I've ever seen was opening up for Maceo Parker. And his guitar player was a guy named Bruno. This old dude that had like I think it was a Fender Twin, which if you're a guitar player, you know that is not an easy amp to make sound good at a low tone. It's a
loud amp.
It's so loud and it's spanky. It's
a loud spanky amp.
Yeah, it's a bottom smacker. But this guy showed up, and when we were doing sound check, I remember looking over and they're like, do you need this out of your way? I said, well, no, I'm definitely not going to move that out of the way. I said, I can put mine beside. And I said, but like, where's he putting his pedal board? And they said, what pedal board? I was like, well, does he have anything I need to keep out of the way? They were like, no, he just plugs straight into the amp. I was like, okay, cool. So maybe he's just... And in my mind, I didn't even question it. I'm like, maybe he's just playing, you know, little rhythm stuff. Fast forward a few hours, I'm sitting watching them play, and I've never been so blown away in my life. Like, I thought I heard a wah, like a waka chicka waka chicka waka chicka waka chicka. And I look up at the stage, and I'm like, where's the other guitar player? No, it's him. He's playing a Waka Chicka on his Strat, plugged straight into a Fender Twin. This guy, like, know your instrument, but yeah, like, he didn't. It could have been an AC30. That could have been a Marshall Stack. That guy still would have made it sound like it was gold. He was like, I don't really care what's there. Just put an amp there, put a chord there, and I'm going to bring my guitar and make it sing. It's like John Lennon said, you know, give me a tuba. I'll make something of it. I'm an artist.
Did he say that? Is that a quote?
I'm pretty sure.
I would say with the guitar,
I'm going to fact check now.
One of the, like the main studio that I worked at, Pocket, was owned by Mike Turner, the original guitar player for Our Lady Peace. And Mike Turner had quite the guitar collection and guitar amp collection. So I got to learn a lot about guitars and guitar amps. Where I'm going with this is one of the guitar amps he had was a 5150, the PV 5150, which was the Eddie Van Halen, pretty much signature guitar amp. And I remember always plugging people into it to try it, and it always sounded like garbage. Whoever was playing through it, I'm like, I don't get this amp, because usually with most high gain amps, you plug in and you turn up and you're like, okay, like it sounds like that, like it sounds good, but like everyone just kind of sounded like not defined and like not a good distortion. Like it sounded okay. And then I remember I was a band called 10th Planet, guitar player Brian Paul. I remember plugging him into that, and instantly it sounded awesome. It sounded like, oh, like this is what this amp should sound like. And it's interesting when you talk about that Fender, the Fender Twin, and the way I was playing through it, because there's so much in the hands with basses and guitars, and I would say even drums too. Like there's so much in the actual player, and when good players are matched with good equipment, everything sounds great. Yes, there's a lot of great guitar players that can make pretty much any guitar sound like them, sort of thing. But that 5150, I remember I remember Brian plugging into that, and I'm just like, this amp's never sounded this good, and it's just the combination of how you play your guitar, like your Les Paul, everything kind of fits together, and it sounded awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But high gain.
No, that's a good example, because I will say I've played a 5150. And I was like, man, like
is it not a good one or something? Like
it's not even that. Yeah, like it's some things feel good, some things don't. I've played Les Pauls that I've been like, I don't know who made this, but it was not it was a lesser Les Paul.
less of a Paul.
But then I've played like cheap Epiphones that and actually Mango is one dude that I've seen. He's got some sick guitars, but the guitars that he's like, yeah, that's my go-to. It's like $275 Epiphones. When it feels good, it feels good.
It feels good. No,
yeah.
I've heard stories, especially with acoustics. I've heard a story of a buddy like made them bring everything up at Long McQuaid. He's just like, he wanted like a boxy sounding acoustic, so he's just like, how many of these do you have? Like, oh, I think we got like 9 or 10 in stock. He's like, can you bring them up? You're like,
and just went through them all.
And he went through them all to find the one that was good.
But that's not dumb.
No, that's not dumb. When you're spending $300 on a guitar, it's like try them all.
When you're gonna go spend money, yeah,
just try them all.
I know guys that'll spend $2,000 on a guitar and not sit and play more than a few.
Well, yeah, that's my advice for people looking for guitars. I'm like, have a budget, and just when you pick it up and it's in budget and that's the one, just you're good. Like just
yeah.
And I would say to back in my children's music producing days, we needed a ukulele for some of the songs, and I'm like, okay, I'll just go to Long McQuaid to rent something. And to rent a ukulele for the month was like $3 or something. It was like nothing, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll just buy one. And they had like a huge section of all the ones. I was talking to the sales rep there and kind of going through stuff. And I went on to YouTube before I went to Long McQuaid. I learned 3 chords so I could just go in and just play them to hear what they actually sounded like. And I probably played like 20 ukuleles until I got to the one that I wanted, and I kind of put it off to the side. And, ended up spending a couple $100 on a good one instead of just spending $3 to rent one for the month. But you gotta do that. Sense. You gotta do that. And you find stuff that's good, you just keep it. So.
Yeah. Did David just say David made a ukulele? Pardon me. Made a ukulele.
Made one being a while.
I have hiccups. Like
I don't know what they mean. Melody's asking if you wear a medium or a large shirt.
I was just trying to type that out. I would say a medium. But that being said, if it's a crocheted shirt, I'd go large, just so that I can have room to do this.
Room for the shoulders. No, it's funny. Last thing I'd say with the instruments too, it's like when we're sharing a kit for the night, and just how different drummers can sound on the same drum kit.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember. I can't remember where we were. It was on the Pop Evil tour with Papa Roach with Age of Days, but there was like 3. Sorry, the replay just did the arm thing over here. It was distracting. There's Pop Evil, and then there was Age of Days, and then there was 2 other openers, but like everyone was just using my kit. The front of house asked, do you mind if everyone uses the kit? I'm like, no, it's fine. And It was my RMV kit that I used for recording.
I do love that kit.
I love it. It's not great for touring though. It's not designed for touring. It's not a sturdy kit.
Well, it's not meant for people like jumping on the kick
No,
drum,
it's not meant.
sure.
No, that would not have lasted. And even just like the bumps and hiccups and stuff that are gonna happen in a trailer and everything. It's like don't bring stuff on tour you're not prepared to lose or get broken or stolen. But yeah, with that kit, I remember the front of house guy came up to me after we were loading out. He's like, if I ever had any doubt that a drummer has an actual sonic impact on their instrument, he's like, that was cleared up tonight, because he's like, you sounded way better than the other two drummers on your kit. And I'm just like, well, I play my kit all the time, so that is what it is. But I remember thinking that I can't remember the bands, and sorry if I feel like I'm trashing the drummers right now, but I remember thinking like it just sounded kind of boxy and like not great. And it's just like started thinking like, is that what it sounds like? Because it's not good, But I got up there and played it. I'm like, no, it feels good. So I don't really know what's going on here. But
I love the sound of that kit. It's got a really. I remember the kick has like a really warm kind of like 70s almost kick.
Yeah, because I'm not. And again, I can say this because of the production side. It's like I'm not the tight on top of it active rock drummer. That's editing. That's sound. That's editing, because I know how I play. And there's been times I've just flat out called another drummer and be like, you know what to do, just make it good. But yeah, no, it's just like that kit feels awesome to play, but for touring, it's just you can't. You're gonna lose it. It's gonna break. It's just it doesn't weigh anything. That's the other thing too. The kick drum doesn't weigh anything. I mean, drummers know how heavy kick drums can be. Like, you can throw mine to somebody and they'd be like, wow, I can catch this. It's not like, it's not 40 pounds or something.
Well, and that touring kit that you've got, like, you've had that through all of the Dead Set stuff, right?
What, the touring one, Pearl?
Yeah, your Pearl touring kit.
Yeah. No, I needed to get something to bring, but I rented that from Lon McQuaid, and I'm like, I'll just bring it back after. And it hit a point where, like, the way Lon McQuaid works here in Canada, it's like when you rent something, 60% goes towards just buying it. And it got to the point where I asked them, like, well, what's it going to cost to like buy this out? And they're like $35 or so. Like, it was like nothing. It was like, so yes, I definitely overpaid on it, but at the same time, there's a little bit of insurance in a way. So if you do break something, you just take it back to them.
Of course.
And they're like, the amount of times I've rented cymbals and taken back this, shards of cymbal, and they're like, well, it was a rental, so they'll give you another one. It's a way better deal. Don't. Yeah,
I feel like
said you could do that, but
but I feel like the times that you overpay on some of the, because
it'll balance out.
I like the trainer amp that I took out that I had on rental. I think I had that on rental for about 2.5 years, and so I probably paid. I would guess probably 25% more than if I had just gone and bought it. But like you said, if anything happens, like there was one time where I think it was a tube or a capacitor or something went. I brought it back in. They were like, okay, well, take this one.
Take that one. You're like, thanks.
And so the same thing happened with me. I ended up calling them. And at one point they were like, yeah, okay, it's only like a couple $100 and then you own it. And in my mind, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I feel like you owe me money on this thing if I try and buy it. And sure enough, they ended up giving me like $150 back, because they were like, technically you should have owned this like 3 months ago.
Like Nick's saying, like a rental car, take the extra insurance.
Oh yeah, of course.
Exactly. You know what? It's funny because like rental cars in Canada are expensive. Rental cars in the States,
really are.
Rental cars in the States are not
in
expensive.
the States, yeah.
So like sometimes we'll, if management's got to drive around or do some radio or whatever with everybody, they'll just grab a rental car and throw all the mileage on that. And I remember thinking like that does not sound cost effective at all. But when it's like what, like $30 to rent the car for the day, and it's unlimited mileage, and there's drive the bejesus out of it. I'm like, okay.
I love the Seinfeld episode where he's at the dealership or whatever, and they're okay. So blah 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 blah. So would you like the renter's insurance on this? He's like, yes, I most certainly would, because I'm going to drive the shit out of this car. And yeah. Oh, Jeremy, you're not late.
Never late.
You're on time, buddy.
You're always here.
As long as you're not an hour late, you're still early.
But yeah, the rental stuff, I think that's one piece of advice I would give to bands. It's like, if you're going out for enough dates, like, seriously consider renting a guitar cab, or, you know, if you're a Marshall or Mesa person, just rent it, because if something happens, it's better to happen to someone else's stuff.
Well, and not to mention the fact that, like, if you're a band,
maintained pretty good too, usually.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, it's kind of broken in a lot of the time. So anything that could go wrong or would go wrong has probably already gone wrong and been fixed.
That's a good point, because a lot of...
With amps, it's a lot of the time, it's little things. It's like the transistors, or the shababaders, or the
but even just things getting bumped around, because again, like, guitar amps and drums, it's like, it's gonna get knocks. There's time, especially when you've got a trailer, it's like, there's times when you can feel it in the van, and you're just like, I can only imagine how much airtime everything got in the trailer.
Yeah, and
it's like, you would rather that happen to something else, like to a rental. As the saying goes, don't be gentle, it's a rental. So.
Well, and honestly, like, the amount of guys that I've known that like, they have their amp and they love their amp, and I get that. I definitely do. Like, when you find a tone, I'm gonna drop his name, like, Dean, my buddy Dean, killer guitar player, and has probably the best. I don't want to say collection, because he uses it all, but, like, he has the best assortment of amps and gear that I've ever seen. But this is a man that will bring, like, $6,000 worth of amps to a bar gig. And I'm like, man, I appreciate your dedication, but at the same time, it's like, you think about the fact that, you know, if you're playing, let's say you're playing four bar gigs in a month, and you have all this cool gear, why wouldn't you want, like, the one thing that he has that I will say is my fabled piece of gear that he's got, is he has an amp that he got from one of the Eric Clapton, like, the auctions that he does for charity, and it's like a Fender Bassman, but it's snakeskin.
That is fancy.
And I'll give him this. He's never brought that out to a gig.
But, there are things that just leave it. My thing is, when I see like I'm a Gibson SG person, and when I see, like, late 60s SGs and stuff, and I'm like, I can't believe you're bringing that out, because if it falls over, the headstock will break, and, like, it's worth money. Like, don't bring that one. Just get, like, a relic or something. Like, get something that kind of looks old, and just play that one. But I guess, like, with some, you know, some of the headliners we played with, like, they'll bring some, like, Buck Cherry, like, what was not Stevie, the other guitar player. Keith. Yeah, like, Keith, like,
he used to bring
wicked guitars out.
Yeah. But Stevie, actually, do you not remember when we were, it was the one that we played, like, the Grey Eagle Casino. It was when we were out with Age of Days.
Buffet.
And Stevie had found, like, a cheap Fender Strat at some pawn shop or something like that. But it looked too new. So they honestly tied it to the back of their bus, and just drove it around the parking lot.
I remember they were roughing it up. I do.
And then they were,
that.
like, scratching it on the posts and stuff like that.
It looked too new. I know. So I remember that, because I remember thinking, like, what is going on here? I thought
maybe it looked like a nice guitar.
Messing up a guitar to, like, auction off or, like, sign or something like that.
But
they
no,
didn't want it to be all new. It's just like,
and then he put, like, some serious pickups in it the next day, and like it was like a serious guitar. but they busted the crap out of that thing.
I think that's like, I don't want to say secretly, but I think with most musicians on tour, finding a gem instrument on the road at a pawn shop is like one of those things. The internet's kind of ruined that, because now
I was gonna say it's kind of a fabled character anymore.
Yeah, now when someone just get it and be like, okay, well, I'll just look this up online. Oh, it's worth $3,500. Okay, well, best I can do is $250, and then then they either take it or not. But it's like, before, someone could be like, oh, it's a Gibson guitar, it's $1,000, but then when you know the book value of it, it's like, okay, this is $5,500. Or it's like $600, but it's like $4,000.
Yeah.
Turner's got a couple of those. SG.
Well, it's nuts, because it's like the days of finding the old lady that just had this Gibson Les Paul 59 Cherry Burst sitting in her closet and just wants it out of her closet. Those are just so fun, because I think I've maybe known like one or two people that have come across that, where they were at like a garage sale, and they just kind of opened this like just dusty ass case, and they open it up, and it's like a 59 Cherry Les Paul.
Yeah, it's an old, yellow Gibson Les Paul. I'll take it. I'll take that for
Well, a buddy of mine found like an old,
old.
It was an Ovation. Pardon me. And he found like an old Ovation, like nylon string guitar at a pawn shop for, I think, like $250 or something like that. And, goes to look it up and gets it appraised, and it's, $1,500 or $2,000.
Well, that'd be tough.
Those days are so far gone.
Tricky to dig that one up, but.
Well, yeah, because nobody wants to play them anymore. They just keep falling off your lap.
They do.
I have one.
The back of the body's got it's very nice and curvy, but it does not want to sit. I liked it because I want to sit on you at all.
I only liked that guitar because I'd pull it out of the case, and any girl in the room, because it was blue and it had surfboards on it, and so any girl in the room would be like, "Whoa, that's such a beautiful guitar," and I'd be like, "Yeah." And then I'd plug it in, and it'd sound like garbage, and I'd be like, "Yeah."
We'll do the Dance Machine Ovation tour.
Oh, good Lord.
And we'll just play U2 covers on Ovation instruments.
If you had enough delay, it would still sound good. I still remember the day that I was playing. I had my music director was basically like, "Yeah, you need a different acoustic because that sounds like garbage." I don't mind dumping his name, because I appreciate him saying it, because he ended up hooking me up with Gibson after that. So I was like, yeah, it does sound like garbage. It's horrible. but yeah, Colin was like, man, I don't know if you like that or not, but it sounds like garbage.
I think there's a knock at the door here.
Oh, biscuits and gravy.
Knock at the door.
Knock,
Who's this
knock.
guy?
Knock, knock.
How's it going, B?
So on my phone, I can't add myself in, apparently. It says that you guys have to do it.
No, you're here now. You're in.
You're in.
Yeah, I know I'm on. I'm on now.
Oh, okay. Oh, but you couldn't add yourself in, I see.
Yeah, when I was backstage, you can't really see me. When I was backstage, so to speak.
Are you in Expantha?
I am in Expantha. I'm using the little clip that Mike...
There's some of the best phone clips.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, your video looks really good for you being in Expantha.
Since we can't tour, I don't know.
Lacks a little imagination, though.
We can't tour, so let's go for a drive.
That's an awesome idea. This will be a new segment, Driving with B.
Brendan, you really should have brought some uplights for the back of the van. I know this.
That would have been amazing.
This is just telling me that you just thought of this now.
It would have driven. Remember when we used to plug the computer and stuff into the eliminator?
Oh, you mean plug everybody into the? Yeah, and Brendan would be like, "We probably shouldn't do this," and then everyone would be like, "Okay, we're not going to," and then like everyone would start sneaking their devices back on.
Everybody starts sneaking their things back in. It always fell on you, though, because the second that you plugged your computer in, it'd be like...
Well, yeah.
It's like, oh, it's all Mike's fault. Yeah, it's all Mike. Mike did it.
The 85-watt MacBook Pro adapter And it's like you can't sneak that into that. It's one thing to sneak in a couple cell phones.
B didn't like it.
Oh, but he'll come back. He'll be back. Don't worry. But yeah, you can sneak in. I gotta reset my camera. You can sneak in a couple things. But yeah, my laptop, it wasn't happening. Oh, B's driving.
Oh, he is driving.
I am driving. Sorry, I was driving away from the theater. And it's like, well, you know that point when you're still kind of on their Wi-Fi, but it switches over to data, and it sort of dropped for a second there.
Driving with B. I love the music that it's adding.
It is good.
Adding music?
Well, because I have some tunes.
Mike's got the smooth jazz playing in the background.
Yeah, I got.
I can't hear it.
Oh, it's there. It's there. I got a nice backdrop too.
Well, the good thing is we can tell that you're paying attention like a diligent driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry if I don't answer.
That's okay.
No, we can see it. We can see it in your face.
How'd the show go?
It was good. That's a really hard show to play.
The Queen one?
But it came out all right. It's all good.
And is the Queen one?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
The Queen music. It's quite challenging.
It's one of those things where, like, when you think about the song, because again, with classic albums, like, you guys play it note for note, cut for cut,
to a T. Yeah.
But it's like, when I think about some of those songs, I'm like, yeah, I could play that. But if I just sit down and actually listen to what they're actually playing, I'm like, wow, there's a lot more going on here.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you kind of get into it and you're like, wow, this is a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be, you know?
Yeah, I didn't realize how crazy of a guitar player Brian May was until I actually sat down and tried to play one of the songs. Not even an entire album, just one.
Oh, then he would layer stuff, and you're like, okay, well.
But yeah, like even just the simple things, when you actually break them down with that stuff, it's definitely not simple.
And John Deacon was quite the bass player. Like, you don't really think about it till you go to learn it. But take a listen to "You're My Best Friend" and listen to the bass on that song. It's friggin' crazy. It's all over the place the whole time. So when I started learning it, I was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? It's so much work. Of course, it's a pleasure to learn that stuff. But yeah, it was a ton of work to get those so you can, like, not only sit, and practice them by yourselves, but get on a stage with people and just, like, show up and play it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Well, and that's something to be said too about, like, the fact that it's one thing to kind of play through things, but to play through them in a scene like that where you're on a stage, like it's not like you can say no, hold on, sorry, go back, I gotta play that again.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta practice it enough so you can get it the first time.
Did you rehearse?
No.
Awesome.
We rehearsed today.
That's
Go
heavy.
Get it done.
Before the show, at sound check, we rehearsed, and then it's just like, exactly, go get it.
No, that's not. We've talked about that before, because I remember, like, the first Sense Machine rehearsal, because, like, I felt I went into it feeling pretty good, because you rehearse the stuff by yourself, and but then when you, like, get in the room, you start listening to what everybody else is doing, and you're like, am I right? Are you right? Is this right?
Yeah.
Is it me? You? Him?
One, I will say that was probably one of the, like, hardest rehearsals that I've ever had to do, was gearing up for that Tense Machine tour, because I don't think I've ever been as sick as I was there.
You, like, started that, yeah.
Like, yeah, I've never been so sick that I couldn't sing, and I started that tour.
I had to give Dane some pep talks.
Not being and I'm like, let's just put all the vocals in the tracks and I'll just dance. Like, no. I don't even need to play guitar. Like, I'll do the robot for the entire show.
Just wearing it.
And
he's not playing guitar, he's not singing.
The mic cable just goes off into nothing on the side of the stage.
Mike Patterson just brought up Mudvayne, and I just was listening to Mudvayne today. I didn't realize how many good songs they actually do have.
That LD50 album is
LD50.
So good. Like, I feel like that's one band that I didn't think was that kind of band, but I sit listening going, oh wait, yeah, that's them. Oh, that's them.
Yeah, no, they're
like. To be honest, I forgot that Dig was a Mudvayne tune.
You forgot that's Berber Ding.
That's
like
like
the
their,
tune.
that's
the
their
tune.
like tune. I was sitting there as I heard it start playing. I'm like, oh,
yeah, that's Mudvayne.
What was the other single from that? I think it was Death Blooms.
Death Blooms, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
LD50.
So thank you for bringing that up, Mike.
And that would have been 20 years old this year. I don't know if they would have got together and kicked out
they're
the jams.
Peoria boys. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Learn something every day. That's why we keep Jeremy around. He always got the trivia. He knows stuff.
Hometown boys.
Are you guys getting the bounce back of my voice? Because I'm putting you through the speakers of the van.
Nope, you're good.
Not much. No, not at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I said no, not much, not at all. That was a Canadian response.
Not too much, eh? You're pretty loud. I'm surprised it's not coming back in. It's just pitch black, though, eh? Can you see anything?
We did for a little bit.
Yeah,
now we can just see the lights that you're passing,
Sorry,
but it's good.
I can breathe now. There was a cop the whole time to start. When I came back on the stream, as soon as I started, a cop pulled in right behind me. I was like, oh, fuck. Here we go. He's going to see the phone and be like, oh, this person's on like
but
a
your
chat
but
or
your
something.
your hands free, and dare I say, if you got pulled over and we were live streaming, it would be epic. Because it's all documented.
You know what I'd do? I'd run upstairs and I'd get my mom to come downstairs and start yelling at you like she was scolding you for something, and just keep going on while the cop came up to the window, and then he'd be like, "Oh, okay, never mind. Your mom's getting you in trouble already. I'll just let you go. Go on with it, sir."
Isn't this
How
fun, though,
dare you? How dare you drive while you're listening to me? This is so dangerous.
Yeah. You come home right now, mister.
I swear, I am
doing?
not making you craft dinner for a week.
Also Canadian.
Okay,
Very
that
Canadian.
actually sounds terrible. Like
Craft dinner
I don't
with
wanna
ketchup on it. What's
Very
what-
Canadian.
I'm
What does
not
the
a
US call
ketchup
it?
craft dinner guy though.
I am.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You go.
I am
you go.
too. Dane, you're outnumbered.
Whole
I am
box.
I am all about ketchup on craft dinner. If I were to, I haven't had craft dinner in over a decade probably, but if I were to, it would be
fix that.
loaded down.
Hold
with
on.
some
Over a
beautiful ketchup.
decade? Over a decade.
Probably.
Man.
That's I don't know how I feel about that, Brendan.
It's been a long
I have
time.
to say,
You fix that.
every time like
No,
Jen's
maybe almost a
son
decade.
or daughter is like, I kind of feel like craft dinner. I'm like, oh yeah, craft dinner? Okay, cool. And Jen's like, yeah, just make a box. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. And then everybody
Yeah, how
stops
about-
paying attention, and I make 3, and then when no one's watching, I eat it before I start spooning
You
it
just
out.
get that ketchup out and you just douse it, and there you go. And then you're good.
No, I go straight. I go OGKD.
Or you get the spicy ketchup. That's what I like.
That is
Otherwise known
Way
as
over the
ketchup
top.
with a whole bunch of sriracha on top of it.
Yeah, the sriracha is
That's
good.
what I would do.
Or Frank's Red Hot. Frank's Red Hot will do the trick. I like the
like this.
buffalo.
Kim's
The-
like, WTF is craft dinner. Craft dinner is like, that is the Canadian
macaroni and cheese.
but it's like, it's macaroni with like orange sauce. That's kind of sweet. And that's supposed to be cheese.
like they have it in the States. It's just called Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, it's
It's
yeah.
still Kraft. It's just
Yeah, it's still Kraft. Yeah.
Why not just call it Kraft dinner? What are we Canadians? Are we low class? Our dinner is mac and cheese, and Americans are like, no, it's
Yeah, so Kim's like, oh, it's mac and cheese. It's like,
I
yeah,
wanna-
craft
I wanna
dinner.
say
We're like-
yes to all of those.
that's a whole
Kraft
dinner, eh?
It is.
It is.
There's the thing in life where you could probably put it on a graph of like you're young and you can't eat a whole box of craft dinner, and then you come of age and you can, and then you
How
hit a
old
point.
were you guys? How old were you guys when you could eat a full box?
Oh, like full box of craft dinner, like early teens. That's when you start doing that. But also when you've got siblings, like you can't eat the whole box of craft dinner because like you usually need to share and stuff.
Well, and I've got like a formidable brother, so like there was never a one box Like
scenario.
A one box scenario never existed.
No, I had 2 siblings. We're talking 4 boxes every time.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, you said, "Oh, put a box on." My mom would be like, "Yeah, get 4."
yeah. So you can't even do it in like a small saucepan. Like you need the big, like the chili saucepan. Okay, so for the American peeps on here, it was it was Canadian Thanksgiving, which I always call fake Thanksgiving. Not to take away from Canadian Thanksgiving. I always feel it's too close after the summer. And we're so used to being in the States that like the US Thanksgiving just seems like the right timing. But either way, I don't know what the timing was because of. I'm not going to question our nation's Thanksgiving.
I've even heard someone refer to it as Thanksgiver to your liver because it's still warm out, so you just end up partying.
Everybody ends up just outside at like a bush party or something.
Yeah, and it's Thanksgiver.
Thanksgiver.
Also very Canadian. Thanksgiver, eh?
Oh, yeah. Take off, eh? I can't even remember why I started this, but it couldn't have been that good. I probably would have remembered if it was even remotely worth talking about. Holy moly, looking good for...
Yeah, so guys, we get to go for a drive again. So if I'm driving, this is my usual position, then you two should do what you usually do when we drive.
Okay, hold on.
Dan's gonna lie down and watch Sons of Anarchy on his laptop.
Well,
Mike, you're at a computer working, so carry on.
I gotta get it the right.
I would have my headphones on, and I would just be like kind of zoning out, and reconsidering my life choices, and just wondering how I got here.
Yeah.
And I secretly would be thinking the whole time, I just don't want anything to go wrong because everything's okay right now. We're on tour, everything's okay until it's not okay.
In a van, just rocketing down the freeway, just wondering, how did I get here? Where are we?
What's going on?
Idaho. I see.
I have to say that my favorite thing is the fact that I've gotten so used to, because I need to preface this by saying that B is probably one of the best drivers that I've ever seen. Like and even including like tour bus drivers and stuff like that. Like B just kind of knows a car. But I can tell how fast B is driving based on like how it feels while I'm sleeping. And so there's been times where I can tell if like the weather's getting bad because you can feel the van at the back starting to get a little bit. It's almost like it's starting to do a little dance.
When you have a trailer, yeah. Not having a trailer is awesome though.
Yeah, not having a trailer
is way better.
Yeah. But you still get that float when you get up to that perfect speed. I remember waking up.
Sorry, I just got Swervy McSwerverton beside me here in a big.
Oh, you gotta get away from him.
That just kind of got really close there for a second.
That just reminds me of Dallas. What was there was the dude in, wasn't he driving like a Lincoln or like a Jaguar or something like that?
Some nice car, and I went to pull out in the lane and he just like ripped up and I got back over and we missed the exit.
But it wasn't just
terrible.
He kept speeding up and slowing down and speeding up so that you couldn't get over.
Yeah, I was mad.
I don't know. I thought you handled that one well.
Well,
I didn't think you got mad at that one.
I was mad, but I didn't know. I don't know if I had a gun though. So
that's the thing, because you don't worry about that in Canada.
That's a big consideration.
Can
so
be a
I
thing
was
in
like,
the States sometimes.
No, in Canada they'd have like a bow and arrow or something.
It definitely cost us like 10 minutes to get somewhere where we weren't even late to. So I probably got mad for like no reason. So.
No, I don't think we were late.
Well, Brendan, you get upset with people when they do things that aren't safe. And what that guy was doing was not safe. So that's why you were cross with him. It was nothing to do with...
Or like the other time, I think we were in West Texas or Kansas, I don't know, somewhere really flat. And some guy in a pickup truck, he came and like brake checked me hard, and like I almost hit him. And that's one of those times we're driving, and all of a sudden it was like, oh! And then we're like, okay, no. And it was like, I must have like been driving slow or something. I did something he didn't like, and he braked. Like it's pretty stressful. Again, I got mad because it was pretty unsafe.
Do you guys remember the car in Detroit that we ended up following?
Oh, the broken one
that drove sideways.
The one with the wheels that were like off center.
The back end wasn't lined up with the front end, and it was weird.
Do you guys? I don't know if you guys see there's like I can't remember what she's called, but I think it's I don't want to misquote it, but I think it is like blonde fast car girl or blonde car girl or something like that. Like it's something like that, but I think she's Australian, and she like demos really, really nice, like fancy new prototype cars. And there was one that they demoed that actually can drive sideways. Like it can drift like that way.
Like all the wheels can turn and...
Yeah, like the wheels actually like pivot a little bit, and it can creep sideways.
It's like the snow plows that have the back end that like swoops out, and there's more plow on the back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes, because I'm gonna assume that you're right.
Yeah.
We've driven behind them before, and the first time I saw it, I freaked out because I thought the truck was sliding sideways, and I was like, "It's a plow! My God!"
Oh, okay, so it actually does, like it'll creep sideways.
Yeah, it does. It kind of does what you're talking about, where it's just like looks like a trailer behind a plow, and then he hits a button, and it like turns the wheels, and it just goes out behind it, so it just continues the plow on the front.
Oh, okay.
He's Mr. Plow.
But yeah. That was what happened with the car, and when I saw that, I was like, man, like that's nothing new. We saw that years ago in Detroit, and I guarantee that they paid about what you would pay in insurance on that car. Like realistically, if you just got your friend to sidewind you in the front corner panel, you could probably have a car that drives a little bit sideways. Yeah. Tracking. Jeremy Isabel says it's called tracking when a car is driving sideways straight down the road because by frame damage. Okay.
That definitely looked like frame damage.
It definitely.
Oh, there was all kind. There's more than just frame damage.
Probably brain damage caused by frame damage.
It's like, you know, in Grand Theft Auto, when your car starts smoking, but it's not on fire yet.
You know, it's not good.
Yeah, it's just you've got the. Good. It's almost like it's pulsing. You've got the red stuff, like in Halo when your screen starts getting all. Oh, that was terrible. Why did I do that? I thought that was a good idea at the time.
I wonder how much data this is using.
Probably a healthy amount. We should probably let you go soon. Let you focus on the road.
I should get gas. I'm just looking down, being like, yeah, gas would be good.
Probably get the gas.
Well, you grab a Tim Hortons chili, and you should be on your way.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that.
I'm glad you could hop in, Brendan. We talked about it, but usually you're busy doing stuff.
Well, we don't get to drive around anytime right now, so
nope.
I think this was a good addition. Driving with B.
Drive, you know? Maybe it's a little dangerous and irresponsible on my part, but hey, I got both hands on the wheel.
It's probably safer than when we're actually in the van.
I'm not.
Yeah, I have to say, you driving, listening to us is probably a butt ton safer than like any one of us driving, not listening to anyone. Although I have to say, Mike is really good when he's got like the trip hop on, or the tunes going. I do
like the night driving. the overnight driving.
It makes me tired. Like I have to Red Bull it if it's a night drive with you and me.
Oh, we got into a pretty healthy energy drink habit on the road. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, it wasn't too uncommon to get, but like certain like sugar-free Monsters and that sort of thing, where it's just like, yeah, I'll get like this purple stuff that's just gonna hype me up. But hey, it would work.
It reminded me of Sunny D commercials.
Yeah.
We'd like, what's your mom got? Oh, I got these purple stuff.
Yeah. But we would always have a healthy amount of straws in the front here, because you don't want that stuff to just actually come in contact with your teeth.
So you try to not let it hit your skin.
Yeah, no, just straight into the gut.
Straight on down,
slide it straight down that gullet.
Yeah. Oh, energy drinks.
Yeah.
Best of times and the worst of times. All right. Well, I'm glad you could make it, Brendan.
Thanks, buddy.
I'll let you guys go and get
All right. All right, safe drive, Brendan.
All right, see you guys later.
I just removed him because safety first. All
yeah,
right.
Definitely.
All right, that was fun. It was fun having Brendan here. Because we're talking at the meetings. He's like, I don't know if I'll be at Wednesdays because he's got like 3 or 4 more shows to do on Wednesdays. So
yeah, I think it's the next 3.
It's tricky. So, anyways, thanks for everybody hanging out tonight, Wednesday Night Groove. I know it's usually just a chit chat about anything.
There's been a bunch of chit chat in the. There's been a bunch of chit chat in the actual
chat too.
Chat.
Chit chat in the chat.
Yeah, Cindy and Katie are going. They're getting into family
talking
history,
about families and.
So we can catch up on that after for sure.
We can go through the comments after it.
Yes,
cool.
Indeed.
All right. Well, I'll be back on my game page tomorrow. Shameless plug. I've been playing The Evil Within, and it's not surprisingly, but it's pretty fun, because there's been a lot of chainsaws so far and a lot of running, and when you combine that with me pressing the wrong buttons, it's pretty good. So
chainsaws and running is good.
So I'll be there tomorrow at 9 if anyone wants to hop on, hang out, and chat. That's the excuse, is the gaming. And then Dane will be back on Friday. Are you kind of doing the 12:30 Eastern Standard Time? Is that kind of your time?
Typically I try and keep it around noon Eastern Standard.
All right, we'll say noon. Say soft noon.
I like a noonish type thing.
Musicians noon.
Yeah, island time.
So Dane will be back. Do you got a name for that yet?
No, just I was thinking of starting to do it while I take a walk, and I just call it Walking with Dane. But that almost seemed like something that would be in like a like a Larry David / what's his name? Woody Allen type movie. So I didn't want to go with that. I just, chit chat, come hang, shibby do.
If the world gets worse, then you could take the Walking Dead logo and just change it to the Walking Dane. It's pretty much.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
You could just do that. Yeah, he's walking around.
Just go walkabout.
I wish things were getting
Friday,
better.
I'll just try and
not.
walk.
How's everybody else doing?
It'd be kind of funny to do it where like I started at a point where the kids are walking around going to or from school, and I act like the kids are the crazy thing that I'm trying to get away from. Mainly because the kids around here are kind of nuts. I've seen them do some weird things. Like
I just think you might get in trouble if you're like running around filming kids and screaming and stuff. That eventually the authorities might be I was wondering what you're doing.
I was thinking more towards high school kids, and I have to be honest, they look older than I do.
I don't know. When I see high school kids,
they have a better hairline than I do. But
enjoy
at the
your
same
youth.
Time, well, yeah,
everything's downhill after 30.
Just stop eating anything chocolate or ice cream after about 30, and just know that if you drink beer, you need to not eat anything and get fat.
All right.
That's why I stopped drinking beer. I couldn't stand not eating things.
Well, most people have probably put their COVID-19 on this summer, so. Anyways, let's wrap this up, Dan. Let's wrap this up, Dan.
Okay, fine. We'll
Thanks again, everyone, hanging out tonight. Game page tomorrow, probably around 9. Dane will be on, and the musicians 12 on Friday. All right, have a good rest of your evening, everybody, especially if you're on the West Coast. I'll talk to you later. I'm not ready with the screen at all.
I never am. It takes a minute to find it.
No. Well, the thing is, I go to the banners and I realize it's not in banners. It's in brand.
Well, and you would think I do the same thing because I feel like they need to switch brand and banners.
It's definitely not in private chat, and it's not in settings. They really should put the brand. I'm gonna after we're done, we can say if you have any suggestions. I'm gonna say to move brand above banners because no one wants
brand somewhere else.